Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh my God!
It was Arch.
Bruh.
And welcome everybody. Hey, when you hear that music, you know it's a throwback to the way we used to do things. So welcome on in. Tonight is Thursday, September 4th. And you can obviously see, I don't even know what the day of the week it is, but welcome on in. And I'm glad to see everybody. And tonight it's going to be no holds barred. So welcome on in, everyone. I'm glad to see you.
Bruh.
Except for those of you who are the creepy lurkers and the cyber stalkers, the paid trolls, and the controlled opposition, and the overall retards. So welcome on in, and those of you who are new, welcome on in. Come join the chat. Everyone's harmless here. If anything, they're just really nice people and great to speak with and talk to. So come on and join the chat if you're new, and as long as you're nice to everyone, everyone will be nice to you. And if you're on the replay, please do us a favor and hit the comment section down below, because the comment section is a wonderful opportunity for those of you on the replay to get in on the conversation. And we love talking. Tonight's show is a special one. We're going to call it Delphi Q&A with the chat, which is going to give you all the opportunity to ask each other questions, ask me questions, and just ask rhetorical questions in general, because, hey, what's wrong with that? That's what we've been doing for years. Okay, that's what we've been doing for years. So I don't see the problem. Okay, with asking questions. Um, so there's a lot that I want to talk about and get to, but anyway, I'm glad to see everyone. And like I said, we do welcome everyone, except the ones who just need to deny reality. That those, yeah, those who make excuses for the inability to have civil, productive discussions, even when they disagree. So anyway, I haven't done my sound check, but I'm assuming you're hearing me. And that's what we're doing. My name's the Prof. My chatters here, I refer to affectionately as the Prof's crew or whatever they want to be called. And so welcome them as well. Um, let's see. I want to remove this. Can I figure out how to work my own channel? There we go. So we're going to do something special as well. I don't know if any of you down here in the chat have my Substack address, but someone please post the Substack in the chat. It's called Read the Prof. Okay, Read the Prof at Substack. And I decided I'm going to do something new, which is I'm going to give a free membership to the Substack every show for the time being. Okay, so that's going to work like this. Anyone who donates $20 or more is going to go in the randomization at the end of the chat. I mean, at the end of the show. And at the end of the show, I'll choose someone out of the donors or super chatters, and that one person will be gifted a Substack membership. Okay. Now, unfortunately, some of the articles on Substack, the majority of the articles are free to read in their entirety on Substack. However, some of them do have a paywall partially through so that you can only get the preview of what is contained in the article. But I highly recommend that you guys go and check out the Substack. I posted a new one today, and I implore you. It's just astonishing what I've dug up. And so if you go check out the Substack, you'll see that today I posted a really disturbing article, and I wish that everyone would read it. And if you don't have a membership and you don't get gifted one, don't worry about that. Eventually, I will make all of the paid content there free for the reader's pleasure. So just have a little patience, and I will remove the paywall. But as a treat for the paying subscribers there, I give them the opportunity to have the first, perusal of the articles on Substack. So that's my Substack commentary. Let me see if I think I saw someone post it here. Oh, Christina, thank you. Prof Substack is at readtheprof.substack.com. Thank you for posting that, Christina. And yeah, I implore you all now, please go there now, click on the link, and just bookmark it to go and read later. Okay. And also at the top of the chat, you will see my GoFundMe posted there, where you can donate to the Prof. We also have the Cash App and Buy Me a Coffee, all of various support pathways. The GoFundMe is to encourage me to continue producing content for the next 6 months. I've had an extremely stressful 6 months here, and I need to make it something I want to do. So I am running that fundraiser now. So that gets all of our stuff, all of our business out of the way. So appreciate you for bearing with that. Okay. Also, for those of you who missed yesterday's show, I did a show entitled Hurricane Katrina, My Story 20 Years Later. And I really wish that all of you who'd like to get to know me a little better, go and watch yesterday's live stream. It's an important one to me. It means a lot to me, and I would appreciate it and just be honored if you would all go and check that out. And you know, hopefully you'll get something out of it. So anyhow, that's that. So before we get started, let me say hello to everybody and we'll be rolling. So I want to say hi. I'm going to go all the way back. Okay. All the way back to the very beginning. Let's see who was in here super early. Muty Silence. What's up, Muty? Muty was first in here and beat Shibby to it by 1 minute. All right, Sweet Dude Shibby, Old Mort, New Mort, Carol, Ninja Warrior Assassin, David Rogers, Quad Axel, Samantha Springman, Elizabeth Jones from Scotland. Hello. All right. We got Miss Pie Crust, Rebecca Ann. All right. Lisa was here. Lisa, I'd like to thank you for the donation to GoFundMe. Appreciate that. Aaron M. Town is here. Hello, good to see you. Of course, Christina's here. Heavy Metal Rehab's here. Hey, Heavy Metal. What's up, Heavy Metal Rehab? Good to see you. We missed you. All right. Amy is almost done, so it's be good to see Amy if she comes over. Pertinent is here. Granny D. Hey, Granny D. All right. Moonbeam 70s Child. Good to see you. Pinky in the Brain. Hello. Molly. Hello. Good to see you. Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen. Good to see you. All right. Charles is here. Granny D. Artist formerly known. Hello. Long time no see. Where you been? Good to see you. Artist formerly known. Carol's here. What's up, Carol? No circle. Teresa's here. Hello, Teresa. Oleg Cat's here. Good to see you, Oleg. All right. Dom S. What's up, Dom? All right. Good to see you. And I don't want to miss anyone. Hey, Mandy's here. Good to see you, Mandy. Hey, Mark Ellis is here. Good to see you, Mark. How's that foot? All right. Jake Brooks. Hello, sir. Welcome, Jake Brooks. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Heavy Metal. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, Heavy's here. What's up, Heavy Metal? And Heather. Heavy and Heavy. Kind of difficult there. All right. So good to see you all. And anyone else who comes in, hey, we'll just greet them, okay? It'll be good to see them. So, guys, the news has been popping off. You know, really popping off. I think there's so many good things afoot, and that's something to be encouraged about. So I want to begin tonight with sharing together a recent announcement from the feds that's absolutely mind-boggling. If you have your finger on the pulse of the world and the things that are going on, this is absolutely mind-boggling. So it's so good that I want to take it in together. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So those of you who are new to the channel, welcome in. My name's the Prof, and this is the Prof's crew, and we're going together learn tonight about the latest just jaw-dropping announcement from the Fed. So let's get started.
Okay, good. All right, thank you all for coming out today. We think that this is a very important issue, and I flew down from Washington because I think that this is so significant. And I very much appreciate your being here along with the people who are standing behind me. Every day, tons of chemicals that are used to create synthetic drugs like methamphetamine and fentanyl are shipped from China to Mexico in China's undeclared war against America and her citizens. And every day in funeral homes across this country, we see the tragic consequences of what has happened in this undeclared war. The families who were forced to say goodbye to their loved ones because of this scourge. And so today we announce a very significant seizure of 2 shipments of chemicals shipped on 2 different vessels on the high seas en route to the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. From China to Mexico. The port of lading was Shanghai, China. The port of discharge, Mexico. What am I talking about? I'm talking about 363,000 pounds of benzyl alcohol, along with 334,000 pounds of N-methylformamide. They would have been used to make 420,000 pounds of methamphetamine, which would have a street value here in Houston of $569 million, with a higher street value as you go up the northeastern seaboard to New York City. Now, the labs that were under construction, that were being used to integrate these chemicals to make the methamphetamine, were under the geographical control of the Sinaloa cartels. And these cartels are capable and are known to make more than 1 ton of methamphetamines a week. Now, because President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have declared the Sinaloa cartel a foreign terrorist organization, it gives all of us in law enforcement the ability to move quicker and to seize quicker. And this cartel, as I'm sure all of you know, is one of the largest producers and traffickers of fentanyl, and they use murder, kidnapping, torture, and violence as a way of doing business. And let it be known that anyone who is working with them, whether they claim innocence or not, if they know that they are providing material support to terrorism. Now, this government forfeiture today of property allows us to seize all of the property, whether it is on domestic or foreign territory, even seizing property outside of the United States. And that is the significance of the FTO. Now, when you have a chance, I want you to take a look at the barrels behind me. There are 1,300 barrels filled with precursors to methamphetamine. It will take 24 18-wheelers to take these precursors to a storage facility in a safe location. I'm going to say that again. It will take 24 18-wheelers to take these barrels to a storage facility in a secure location. So today's interdiction highlights an incredible work that has been done by the Homeland Security investigation, as well as Customs and Border Patrol, and my office in Washington, D.C., that was on this case, because this is what we do wherever it occurs. And we will continue to stay on top of these organizations and on top of the movement of these precursors throughout the high seas to prevent them from making it to the United States. And let me say that this interdiction has stopped the drug labs that were planned on producing meth from operating. Now, how do we get to this point? We do it because we've got smart people behind me. We got people who understand drug trafficking, they understand money laundering techniques, and they understand transportation distribution, and they analyze, and they are just smart as hell. And thank God for every one of them. And I want to thank them for being here today and for the work that they do. And before you leave, I want to make sure that you look at those 1,300 barrels, And I want you to have a visual of dead Americans instead of where those barrels are, because that's what would have happened. Now I'm going to call upon Homeland Security investigation, the agent director, Todd Lyons, and after that, the Custom and Border Patrol Director of Field Operations, Judd Murdoch. Todd?
Thank you, ma'am.
You don't have to step on me.
Hey, Don, what's up?
quiet.
Welcome in, Don. Welcome in, Steffa, trial junkie.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Todd Lyons. I'm the Acting Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. First off, I want to begin by thanking the U.S. Attorney. She's been an amazing partner. She's been side by side with us all the way with Homeland Security investigations and ICE. And it's because of her and her office we could have successes like we had here today. I also want to thank Customs and Border Protection for hosting us today, as well as all the other law enforcement partner agencies that were involved in this seizure. The FBI, the DEA, the Department of Defense Joint Interagency Task Force, U.S. Northcom, as well as the Texas National Guard. In recent years, the number of drug-related deaths in America have grown to more than 100,000 casualties, and that's just way too much. This tragic and senseless loss each year has ensured that since President Trump took office, that's his #1 priority, is taking these weapons of mass destruction off the street. HSI's Operation Hydra is unique from our other approaches to combating drug trafficking because it targets the supply line chemical precursors that manufacture illicit narcotics rather than the finished products.
Okay, and that's a really important point. Don't let it slip by you. Seizing the precursors, because the product is finished in Mexico and the US, but they're seizing the precursors to stop.
As a result, it's possible for HSI to prevent much larger volume of narcotics entering the international and the domestic drug supply lines. These two shipments originated from the same vendor in China and were destined to go into the hands of the Sinaloa cartel. Had these precursors made it to their destination, they would have made hundreds of thousands of pounds of methamphetamine with profits of over $500 million.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds of meth. So this was just stopped for the cartel. The hundreds of thousands of pounds of meth that will not be produced or sold,
which would lead to more American deaths here, not only in Houston, but all across the country. Under this operation, HSI used sophisticated analytical tools and techniques, as well as our extensive investigative tools and our deep knowledge about cross-border trade to ensure that we identify these shipments before they got into any illicit hands. This marks the first time a seizure warrant was issued for the material support of terrorism. So let me just say that again. Under 18 U.S.C. United States Code 2339B, we were able to charge someone with material support of terrorism, and that's the Sinaloa cartel. The ability to obtain the warrant for this was only possible because President Trump's executive order designating the Department of State to designate major drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. After seizing these two shipments, HSI International worked closely with our foreign law enforcement partners to consolidate the shipments in Panama and divert them here to the port of Houston. Our agents in Guatemala, Panama, and Mexico provided significant support to our Homeland Security investigation team here in Houston throughout this whole investigation. Operation Hydra continues to be a tremendous success to bolster our efforts to combat drug trafficking. Operations like this is key to our Homeland Security Task Force. The amount of partners that work together to take these illicit drugs off our street is key to making America safe again. I can't thank all of our partners enough, and I can't thank you, U.S. Attorney, for everything you've done for us to take these deadly substances off our street. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Okay, and see, the point that I'm making is this is strangling. This is choking the beast. Okay, hope you all understand that.
Again, good morning. My name is Judd Murdoch. I'm the Director of Field Operations for the Houston Field Office for U.S. Customs and Border Protection. I truly appreciate the work of U.S. Attorney Pirro and her team to my left, as well as our other federal partners that are here with me today. I'm honored to speak briefly on behalf of the men and women of U.S. Customs and Border Protection who are committed to protecting the American people and our nation's borders. The seaport environment here in the Houston-Galveston area presents unique challenges to the national security and border mission that we carry out every single day. Global criminal networks and designated terrorist organizations work to exploit our borders in many creative ways to move dangerous people and dangerous things here to the United States. The many barrels of precursor chemicals that are behind me are directly linked to one of the most dangerous and deadliest terrorist networks, the Sinaloa cartel. If you're unfamiliar, the Sinaloa cartel is one of the most violent and brutal terrorist organizations in the world. They have produced and distributed record amounts of drugs worldwide and are responsible for countless deaths, devastation, and destruction of communities in the United States and abroad. This seizure represents one of the largest interdictions of its kind in history and highlights the critical role of interagency collaboration and intelligence sharing in combating threats posed by drug trafficking organizations and terrorist groups. It's precisely why we bring our many unique areas of expertise together to form these law enforcement partnerships to combat the enemy. The Sinaloa cartel activities are not merely criminal, they are acts of terror that threaten the safety and security of our nation. By targeting their supply chains and disrupting their operations, we are sending a clear message. DHS will not tolerate anyone or anything that wants to harm our community. Let me be clear, this seizure is not just a victory for law enforcement, it's a victory for every family and every individual who's been impacted by the devastation of drug addiction and cartel violence. We will continue to stand vigilant, using every resource that we can throw at this problem set to protect our borders and dismantle criminal organizations and terrorist organizations. Again, thank you very much for being here today, and a special thanks again to the U.S. Attorney for being here with us as well.
Hi. Do you have any questions? When was it intercepted? Like a week ago? When did we intercept it? Yeah, within the last week. Within the last week, we had to unload it. It was in the big cartons. What do you call those cartons?
The shipping containers.
Yeah, you know those shipping containers that you see. That we had a lot of those containers, and the barrels are then in the containers. Don't look so worried. Right now, this is a seizure of the goods of a foreign terrorist organization. We are working on that part of it as we speak. We'll let you know on that. But I think the most important part of this, as you heard from both Judd as well as Todd, is this is a first in many ways. And not just in terms of the use of the statute, but in terms of the size of the seizure. And again, I have to tip my hat to those individuals involved in this investigation. This is serious business, folks. This isn't about people just sitting at a desk writing a warrant. This is serious, dangerous business. And that's why I thought it was important to come down here and let you know the kind of work that's being done by people in the government that some people just take for granted. You can't. These people are heroes behind me, and all around here. They're all heroes here. So God bless them. Well, whether or not we're in a position to make arrests in Mexico, which is what you're asking, is not something that I'm at liberty to speak about right now. But thank you for the question.
Yeah, they're working on that part of it now. You know, that's to follow. But there's also another huge announcement regarding other arrests for other chemicals that the FBI made yesterday. And we're not going to cover that tonight because I want to really highlight this particular incident. And they are downplaying it. We're going to read this later. But this is the largest in world history. Okay, this is the largest bust seizure of these precursors in world history.
You keep going. Yes. No, no. This seizure is not planned in terms of anyone's schedule other than the schedule of getting it off the high seas, getting it here into Houston, getting it off the ships, and, you know, locking it down so that we prevent it from going to the cartel. It's got nothing to do with politics. Nothing. Other than the fact that this is the first president who decided that the Sinaloa cartel is a foreign terrorist organization that gives us the ability to move quickly and gives us the ability to seize property anywhere in the world if it is connected to one of these organizations. Yeah.
In the world.
Oh, yeah. Let me be very clear. This is the hard part. Finding the Americans who are violating the law is the easy part. So don't think you're going to get away with it and make a quick few bucks and no one will know. We know. You'd be amazed at what we know. We may be following you now, waiting for you to go to the next guy. We may be watching you and not ready to take you down. So don't risk it, because you're going to jail.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
There's a whole bunch of people shitting their pants right now because of the past few weeks of action that has basically decapitated this entire enterprise. And listen, there will be real world effects on the streets of Indiana. You bet your ass.
Go ahead, Todd.
This is the largest seizure.
Todd, over here.
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, this is the largest seizure of any precursor chemical ever in the history of the United States. So to the U.S. Attorney's point, you know, President Trump has made sure that these criminal organizations that are now designated as foreign terrorist groups, they're giving us the ability to go ahead and track these precursors before they even get here. So I think the key to it is, not only is it the largest seizure in history of U.S. law enforcement, but this just shows that we were able to stop a threat before it actually came on to U.S. soil. And that's the key part of this, I think.
Yeah, yeah. To have the ability to stop it when previously we could not under other administrations. It's recognizing the danger to America. All right, everyone. Stick it to this. Stay with this.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with this. This is key because, to the U.S. Attorney's point, we need to be focused on what the men and women of law enforcement do. So the men and women of HSI are out here serving this criminal warrant, and we're going to do this nationwide, whether it be international trafficking, human trafficking, any type of criminal immigration enforcement operations. ICE and HSI will be all over every major U.S. city, so you can count on that.
Whoa, let's hear that again. Let's hear that again, because, man, he slipped that one by. Listen to that one.
International trafficking, human trafficking.
Oh, sorry, not far back enough. Here we go.
To the U.S. Attorney's point, we need to be focused on what the men and women of law enforcement do. So the men and women of HSI are out here serving this criminal warrant, and we're going to do this nationwide, whether it be international trafficking, human trafficking, any type of criminal immigration enforcement operations. ICE and HSI will be all over every major U.S. city, so you can count on that.
In other words, the shit is hitting the fan. Okay, the shit is hitting the fan for these motherfuckers, and it's been years in the making. So I want to do another thing. Let me see if I can handle this. Let's see. Come on, Proffity Poo. Let's see. We're gonna go with this one. And this one. All right, how's that looking? All right, it says, this is just another reiteration of what we're talking about. Okay, it says more than, well, it's called U.S. seizes 300,000 kilos of meth precursor chemicals sent from China, destined for Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel. Okay, the operation in Houston was the largest seizure of such chemicals ever by U.S. law enforcement. More than 300,000 kilos of chemicals used to produce methamphetamine and intended for clandestine labs controlled by the Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico were seized this week by agents with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Homeland Security Investigations at the Port of Houston, announced U.S. Attorney for District of Columbia Jeannie Ferris-Piro and Acting Director Todd Lyons of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This is the largest seizure of precursor chemicals used to manufacture methamphetamine in U.S. history, said Attorney Piro. China was sending over 700,000 pounds on the high seas to the Sinaloa cartel before my office seized them, because President Trump and Secretary Rubio declared the Sinaloa cartel a foreign terrorist organization. We can now strike faster and hit harder. This marks the first time a seizure warrant was issued for material support for terrorism. Acting Director Todd M. Lyons of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. After seizing these two shipments, Homeland Security Investigations International worked closely with foreign law enforcement partners to consolidate the shipments in Panama and bring them here to the Port of Houston. I can't thank all our partners enough. These many barrels of precursor chemicals are directly linked to one of the most dangerous and deadly terrorist networks, the Sinaloa cartel, and it's one of the most violent and brutal terrorist organizations in the world. They are responsible for countless deaths, devastation, and destruction of communities in the U.S. and abroad, said Director of Field Operations Judd Murdoch of Customs and Border Protection, Houston. This represents one of the largest interdictions of its kind in U.S. history and highlights the critical role of collaboration and intel sharing in combating threats posed by drug trafficking organizations and terrorist groups. The chemicals, which originated in and were sent from China, could have been used to produce nearly 190,000 kilos of methamphetamine, worth about $569 million, if they had reached their intended destination. Instead, agents seized 6 shipping containers of benzoyl alcohol, a solvent used in the manufacture of pharmaceuticals, weighing 164,880 kilos, and 6 shipping containers of N-methylformamide, another liquid organic solvent, weighing 151,560 kilos. To put in perspective the impact of the seizure in fiscal year 2024, U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized a total of 78,925 kilos of methamphetamine along the entire southwest border. In order to transport the chemicals from port to a secure HSI storage facility, it took 24 18-wheeler trucks to transport the sheer volume of precursor chemicals. In 2023, more than 34,800 Americans died of overdoses from psychostimulants, primarily methamphetamine. That's 34,800 Americans just in 2023. The U.S. Attorney's Office for D.C. obtained the seizure warrant that provided the legal authority to seize the chemicals because the administration designated the Sinaloa cartel as a foreign terrorist organization on January 20th, 2025. The designation provided federal prosecutors in the district the authority to execute the seizure under the terrorism forfeiture provision. Joining in today's announcement were Special Agent in Charge Chad Plants of Homeland Security Investigations, Houston, Director of Field Operations Judd Murdoch of Customs and Border Protection, Houston, Acting Special Agent in Charge William Kimball of the DEA, Houston, and FBI Special Agent in Charge Douglas Williams of the Houston Field Office. The matter is being prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office for D.C. as part of its cartel elimination effort, a collaboration between the office's National Security Sections, Threat Finance Unit, and Violent Crime and Narcotics Trafficking Section. The effort is also part of the Attorney General's February 5, 2025 directive, calling for the total elimination of cartels. Listen to that, okay? Look at that phrase there, because this is legal speak, and these people do not mince words when they do legal speak, okay? So hear this phrase: total elimination of cartels and transnational criminal organizations. Total elimination of cartels and transnational criminal organizations. By harnessing the resources of the Department of Justice and empowering federal prosecutors throughout the country to work urgently with the Department of Homeland Security and other parts of the government toward the goal of eliminating these threats to U.S. sovereignty. Okay, and here's some really nice photos. I gotta say, these photos are really nice. Check these out. Okay, actually, I want to go full screen so you can see them. Let's see. How about that? Yeah, check out these photos here. Look at this one. It's an entire warehouse. What did he say? 1,800 barrels or something? 1,800 barrels, 1,300 barrels, somewhere in there. 1,500 barrels. Very well packaged. Anyhow, that's that, okay? That is that. I wanted to share that with you, though, because I was very, very, very excited to see that. I think it's a indicator of what's to come. Okay, guaranteed, guaranteed. It's just the tip of the iceberg. And I hope you appreciated me sharing that news with you. Now, why are you excited, Prof? Well, because, you know, first of all, it's going to save some lives. Okay, doubtless, without a doubt, it's going to save lives. Primarily, firstly, secondarily, this is going to really put a hurt on the people we've been discussing for 3 years here. Okay, it's going to put a hurting on the very people that we've been looking at for 3 years here. And this goes beyond politics. Okay, so anyone in here trying to make this another political gaslight or argument, this goes beyond politics, because taking these people out of the picture is what matters. Okay, this is so beyond political gaslighting that it really leaves me speechless. If I have to explain that to you, I don't know what to say. Now keep in mind, I just shared recently that El Mayo took the deal. Okay? Now, any of you who've been studying Sinaloa at all might know that Sinaloa has had a civil war. So there was already a fraction that has happened. Okay? And they're turning on each other. Okay? A game was played, and now you have the head has taken the deal. Now, you know this. He's not going to get a deal in which he does not have to give something. Right? So what is he going to give? I can predict. Let's see. Maybe he's going to have to give the politicians on the U.S. side, right, who have been facilitating his organization. And most likely, he's going to have to give politicians on the Mexican side who have been facilitating this. He may even have to give up the politicians in Asia who facilitated So you see where I'm headed with that. This entire deal is falling apart right in front of our very eyes. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. And couldn't have come any sooner, or later. It's been a long time coming. It needs to happen. And like I said, the shit flows downhill, right? So you have to look at the street level. You have to look at the street level. So looking at the little rats running around the state of Indiana, okay? Now let's be clear. There's a highway. It runs, and by highway, I don't mean a single highway. I'm speaking metaphorically. There's what's known as the Sinaloa Highway, which runs from the border, zigzags on up to Chicago. All right? And everywhere along the way, there are rats that run the streets and traffic this shit all over the country to your uncles, your aunts, your nephews, your nieces, your daughters, and sons. Okay? So it's very much my opinion that this is going to put some hurting on the very people we've been talking about running these criminal networks on the streets of the United States and Indiana. Let's see. See if I can manage to manifest something. No, I don't have time to deal with it right now, so I'll let it go. But anyway, I thought that was a great way to start the show tonight. But I would bet that the dominoes start falling, okay? Because he's going to give up this one, and that one's going to give up this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And I don't think it'll be too long until the intelligence gathered is going to be overwhelming to the extent that many arrests will be able to be made. Okay? Okay, so let's see. What do I have going here? So I guess I'm ready to move into the next part of the show, which is where we talk. So so let's see. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, I don't see anything. Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, let's do a Q&A. Maybe I'll ask you questions. Maybe you'll ask me. Prof, this was a long time coming. How those jitterbugs in Carroll County are going to be shaking like a leaf in a tree. Yeah, sure, Lisa. We will do an AI assisted. The prof is no expert on that, but we'll do an AI assisted deep dive on the history of cartel activity in the U.S. But you very well know that it's very obvious that mm, China has been providing all the raw chemicals necessary for the chemistry needed to produce all of this. And that's just zero question. For instance, what was discussed yesterday by the FBI was, I think they were in Ohio, and they were discussing other seizures and indictments wherein these chemical cutting agents for fentanyl production were also seized on the high seas. Okay, so I think what's truly has been happening is China's not shipping out any drugs per se. They're shipping out everything in bulk in extremely large quantities. Entire uh, uh, ocean liners filled with barrels of this stuff that's brought into South America, Central America, Canada, and the U.S., and then used then to manufacture the drugs that the United States runs on, right? Think for yourself, how many addicts do you know in your family? Think of the opiates and anything else. Just think of the number of family members you have who may have a connection to abusing mood altering substances. And then take a look around you and then think of that times millions. Um, okay, let's see. I saw another Q in the chat. Let's see. That's what I'm looking for. Bring the Qs, guys. Prof, I can't get by the issue of the central characters in Delphi. Every single one of them are Masons, are affiliated. To me, that's the crux of the entire case. Do I think you're far off with your assessment? Well, I don't think it's so simple, David. Um, I think that it's easy for them to operate collectively to achieve certain goals. And I think that those associations facilitate covering up the broader crimes that are at play. And yeah, let's see. So I just find it odd. I think that this community has allowed a lot of people to come in and just bust on into the door, kind of like Carol does. Carol busts into the chat. But this community has allowed some creators to just come on into the community and bust on in and try to take over and and be loudmouths and distract, target, um, attempt to discredit, and take over the narrative. And I won't allow it. I won't allow it. And I think I've earned my place as a voice in this community. I mean, you go back and look at the amount of work we've done, which many people like to overlook. It's pretty much all there. I think I took down the first 75 shows or so because I was smoking and they weren't that engaging. And I had a bunch of plants who had come in and taken over the chat. So those shows I have removed. But in general, even since then, there's still hundreds of shows up. We've talked for years. And I think things are pretty clear. My feelings are pretty clear. My theories are pretty clear. I don't even know. Like, my theories are difficult. Okay. Like, for instance, let's reverse engineer. What is your theory, Prof? Well, I think there's zero doubt. And I mean, I know that there is zero doubt that there are occult signatures at the Delphi crime scene. There are also occult signatures at several other murders that are cold cases or open, unsolved cases in the Midwest. Now, what do you think is the likelihood that those cases might be connected to Delphi? I think it's a pretty good likelihood. I think for years, we speculated that this group or this crime in Delphi was committed by a group of individuals. A group of individuals. I would assume 1 to 2 handfuls. How is it that we so quickly forget that and move beyond it? Do you not realize that this entire community is plagued by an effort to distract you from these very obvious and simple questions and conclusions? Like, seems to me very fucking clear that we're dealing with more than one person with this crime. Seems very clear that there are absolutely occult signatures left at the crime scene. Seems highly likely that drugs are involved in the entire scenario. Meth, heroin, others. But oh, how quickly we forget the most important and vital things because people distract us. They come in and they sow chaos and division and distractions, and they plant narratives. And the people so easily just follow, forgetting all that had been discussed for years prior. Anyhow, enough lecturing. Let me go back and see. I saw some questions here. Let's see. Hey, K Special. Great to see you, Prof. You may have said, but why do you think they moved RA to Oklahoma? I missed local news report a few days ago. I have no idea. I mean, I would assume at this point, liability more than anything else. I mean, the phrase "monkey on your back." I think RA is a monkey on Indiana's back, and I think that getting him off their back suddenly makes Oklahoma responsible for his well-being, and should any harm come to him, the finger will be pointed at Oklahoma. And let's not kid each other. What happened to him at Westville? See, it's just funny how we're so busy fighting these harassing ass stalkers and chaos agents that we're not even able to consistently pound on the most important things, even regarding Richard Allen. Let's be honest here. Are we going to kid ourselves about the strategy that was adopted with Richard Allen and why he was locked up in Westville and why he was kept in solitary for so long, and the fact that he absolutely was threatened and the lives of his family? Are we just going to forget that? Are we going to forget that he was put in a position where he was forced to confess? Do you not believe that he was under duress at the time when he made phone calls confessing to his family? You think that warden, Gallipo, did not know? You think that, like, not only did he not know, do you honestly believe that he was not strategizing on how to entrap Richard Allen and torture and abuse and have him forced into being medicated and confessing? Do you think Monica Walla was not intentionally trying to coerce confessions out of him using her sexuality and drugs? Like think about this. He's threatened by all the men around him consistently 24/7. Locked in solitary. His food's fucked with, his drink's fucked with, his environment's fucked with. He's cold, right? Nude. And on top of that, the one woman he does come into contact with is using her sexuality to manipulate him while drugging him with known deliriants. This is not a defense shill shoving this shit down your throat and fantasizing on hypothesizing on a scenario. This is reality. You see, the ones who tell you different are the manipulators and gaslighters and liars and state shills. The ones who would say, "Oh, it's crazy. That never happens. Only good things happen in prisons." Mm-hmm. As if, like, serious guys, you go and you watch a whole bunch of videos of people who have been imprisoned and who are out, and listen to them tell stories. And you'll know what really goes on behind prison walls. And trust me, there's nothing politically correct about it. There's nothing right about it. There's nothing normal about it. The administration, and in other words, the state, has to be worse than the criminals. I mean, this is what alpha male is all about, right? Alpha male. You're the biggest, baddest on the block. Well, what do you think these correctional officers are and wardens? They're the biggest and baddest on the block. They're meaner. more conniving, more sinister. It's reality. Okay, I'm going to continue. Sorry. But case special. So I believe that he's moved for liability purposes to get the monkey off of Indiana's back, so that should anything happen to him, it's on the necks of Oklahoma. All right. Do church crimes connect with Delphi? I don't think so. I don't think church crimes connect with Delphi, but I think money laundering from the churches in the area absolutely connects to Delphi. That entire community has become a money laundering. Fuck, it's a money laundromat. You know, Delphi is a money laundromat. Come on. The churches in that entire area are likely part of a network that is laundering the money for the entire community. It's always the nonprofits. Like the easiest way, what's known as they use these nonprofits to launder the money. And you look at all the movers and shakers in the Delphi case. Oh, just so happens that they all have their hands in 501c3s. And yes, I mean McCain's and Patty's, and then all of the above. All right. Jake Brooks, the first press conference that Doug led was a couple days after. He had to bridge the blurry guy, the family narrative. Do you think top brass was covering from the start? Yes. Yeah, it's a good point. Someone made a video not long ago. But you remember Riley? Saying they were found in the creek? I mean, really, what's up with that? And realize when Lesenby corrected him about the name of the creek, he didn't say, no, he wasn't found they weren't found in the creek. They were found on the banks or on Ron Logan's property. He didn't correct him. He corrected him on which creek, not the fact that they were found in a creek. Does no one even notice? Cover up from before day one has been my catchphrase. Delphi's been a cover up since before day one. That's my tagline. Yes, and many other people they have framed to hide a cult. I think it's a cult. Okay. Doug Carter was controlled opposition from the start. Yeah, that's why you always got riddles. See, we always thought he's the good guy giving us the riddles. He's telepathically intimidating the perpetrators, or he's giving us hints. No, fuck. Doug Carter was bullshitting from the beginning. He was controlled opposition from the beginning and a distraction, and that's why everything was a riddle. He spoke in circles because he was being circuitous, and he was distracting, and he was appeasing, and he's the main PR guy. Well, now it's the Uniparty, but prior to the Uniparty being the main narrative steerers, it was Doug Carter. Any comments on someone involved in Delphi pretending to be the Stevenson's granddaughter online? Yeah, I'll refrain from comments, but you know who that is. There's some people who have theories about who that is. I think it's interesting that Rick Allen worked at a pharmacy. Maybe he didn't play ball with the goose that came in and he was an easy target to blame. And Holman oversaw. Sudafed. Yeah, remember Holman was the meth guy, right? Just like now peep this out. Brock. Wasn't he the meth guy as well? And he's over Flora. So the guy over Delphi was the meth guy, and the guy over Flora was the meth guy. But sure, meth has nothing to do with either of those crimes. Never would. And meth also has nothing to do with the biker gangs and the clubs in the area. No, sure, never would. And sure, meth has nothing to do with the law enforcement in the counties. No, sure, never would. There's no such thing as methamphetamine. No, not at all. It's just a coincidence that this imaginary drug, that's the lifeblood of that economy, it's coincidental that the lead detective over both Flora and Delphi, both lead detectives were heads of the meth unit for Indiana State Police. Just coincidence. Hey, Laura. Welcome in, Laura Dawson. Welcome in, Keith Kellogg. Anyone else I've missed? Digital. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, you notice that. Yeah. Doug Carter is now going to be the official spokesperson for hating Braun. Good. Yes, a good point, Nancy. Remember how giddy the prosecution was to leak the confessions to the public. I mean, look, I've explained the troll farm thoroughly to you. Remember the troll farm. The troll farm leaked absolutely everything that Nick McClellan wanted out into the public sphere, right? Let's not be stupid here. Okay. All right, let's see. Anybody who can't see that is a blind moron. In this case, is plagued with them. All right. Exactly, Prof. Put a man in solitary and send in a succubus face all painted, smelling like roses. I confess anything to her. All right. Psychopaths lie to you and call you a liar when you see it. Well, yeah, so do narcissists. They're only a hair's breadth away from each other. All right. If we had a team of 25 people, we could keep track of Richard Allen, build websites, make 25 Twitter posts a day each, make videos, create memes, harass the fuck out of all people on your side, right? On the side of Rick Allen is wrongfully convicted. Dig into strangers' backgrounds, dig into their family, into their social media, family social media, work full time and live life. Easy peasy. Yeah, it's called the Mean Girls. I mean the Cranks. I mean the Troll Farm. I mean the Uniparty. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's see. You think FBI moved him? I don't know. I mean, hey, I do think he's probably better off in Oklahoma than anywhere in Indiana. I mean, to be further away he can get, probably the better. Okay. All right, let's see. Prof. Hey, Granny D, thank you for sending memberships to my people. Thank you very much. Let's see. David Rogers says, Prof, this new Delphi podcasters are full of shit. After you and Joe Lewis knocked down the doors, provided receipts, now these slags are doing what you did years ago. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I get that the receipts are out there. I'm not going to keep going over it. Okay. Creek would affect jurisdiction. Hey, Sunflower Soul, couldn't keep anything on record as happening in the creek. Yeah, I get it. You know, and that's a very good point there. I mean, let's think about this. Were they in the creek, and were they moved out of the creek? I don't know. But if they were, you have to. I would reverse engineer it in this way. If they were moved out of the creek, there has to be a reason, because you don't touch dead bodies for no reason, right? You don't touch the dead bodies for no reason. So let's say they are in the creek. If they're moved out of the creek, there absolutely must be a damn good reason to move them out of that creek. Let's see. A riddle. Yeah, the Riddler. Douglas Carter, the Riddler. The bullshitter. The Delphi bullshitter. Bullshitter number one, Douglas Carter. All right. Keith Kellogg. Jake. Hi, K. Miri. Good to see you. Rick didn't have any connections. He knew nothing on people in power. So he was perfect. Brad, Patrick, and all those guys have big mouths and would have told on too many people. I have a hypothesis your work has not met the masses yet. When that happens, it's over for Ellie. J Rabbit says, the photo and video is bullshit. You're telling me they had that from the beginning, went to trial, got a conviction, and they are all convinced that be a gun statement? It's all bullshit. Yeah, you know why else it's bullshit? Let me stop to make this point. And this is where it's going to hurt. Okay, this is where it's going to hurt. Question for you guys. Remember this. 10 questions for the mean girls. That means the cranks on the BG video leak controversy. How did the video from Liberty German's phone extraction get onto the website? And whose hands did it pass through between it leaving Baldwin's office and it being posted on the website? Who handed it from Baldwin to the next person? Was it Osbrook, as he claimed? Who passed the video to Luke? Was it Angela, as Osbrook implied? Was it someone else? What really happened without all the sidestepping and sleight of hand? When we mention chain of custody, we mean please detail each and every person's hands the video passed between, all the way from Andy Baldwin's office to its eventual release on the website. Please provide receipts every single step of the way for all the things that you are claiming. Was there a coordinated plan for the rollout of the video to be set into motion by the posting of the notice of appeal on my case across multiple YouTube channels, i.e. R&M Productions, Criminality, and Andy Copsa? Who was responsible for this coordinated rollout? Why, during your breaking Full Bridge Guy video released live stream, did Angela Sedlowski act as if she had no idea who released the video, no knowledge of its pre-planned release, and no knowledge of who was behind the website, when we now know that all not to be true? Did Andrew Baldwin knowingly give the video to you all with the intent that it be publicly posted on the website? If so, who did he personally give the permission to, and in what format? Text message, email, or phone call? Please provide receipts for this permission if it exists. Why did Mr. Baldwin initially outright deny that the video came from him? And why did he and Jennifer Auger then write a press release condemning you all for the release? Who specifically blackmailed the defense in order to prevent them from publishing this press release they had drafted condemning you all for the release? And what was the exact nature of the threat? Why did you all attack those asking reasonable questions, pertinent questions regarding the video's release? Are there any of the basic questions ever going to be addressed about the leaking of this video with direct and honest answers? Remember all that? Let me ask you a question. So now you're all familiar with the video, right? The video that I said just doesn't look right, right? That video? Let me ask you a question. Why has the judge not released one iota of evidence regarding that video? Answer it. That court has released nearly every other piece of unsealed evidence or exhibit. Every exhibit that is not under seal has pretty much been released. Let me ask you this question. Why not the video? Why not the enhanced? Why not the zoomed? Why not the audio enhanced? Stabilized? Nothing. Is the world supposed to be satisfied with the video that was leaked on this website? Is that supposed to placate the world on the existence of this alleged Libby video? So we'll never get anything with an official stamp from the court on it? Is that how this is supposed to work? No one sees a problem with that? Does no one have a problem with that? That we are supposed to be relying on a leaked video when you know that official exhibits from the court that were used in trial exist. Where are they? But hey, I'm the bad guy for asking the questions. Remember when this all happened on March 12th? I saw this shit coming 6 months ago. And I asked the question, what is that video? Who is it from? Who released it? Why is it not what was described in court? And now here we are, 6 months after the release of it and 9 months after trial. And we don't have a single shred of evidence, or we don't have a single release pertaining to that video directly from the court. And you don't find that odd? That be a bullshit, as Noah used to say. Looks like I had a little glitch there. I guess I'm back. Cartel used bike clubs Yeah, is that why they are the ones who've been threatening and harassing and threatening to kill us for 3 years now here? All right, let's see. You would be surprised how many top Ellie know me already on board. Granny D, thanks again for the gifting of the memberships. Who got those? Let me call your names. Let's see. All right, congrats, Nancy Drew 101. Oh, hey, Christina, Heather Brown, and KT Recovers. Oh, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. Thank you, Granny D. That's very nice of you, and I'm so happy with the recipients. Always be proud of your work on Delphi. Blood, sweat, tears. You have endured lots. Appreciate you and info you provide. Well, thank you, Kay. All right. I can't figure out why the police agencies covered for the Olden cult. Well, I mean, all of them: city police, county police, state, FBI. Well, it's the funny thing. They always want to gaslight. They say, "Oh, that doesn't happen in prisons." No, everyone he was treated just as good as everyone else. Or the troll farm will say, "It's not a cover up. Do you realize what it would take for to be a cover up?" All right. Thank you, Heather. Purple Amaryllis. Hey, Prof, I confess I haven't listened for a while as I hate the drama. Well, sorry, Purple. Listen, Purple Amaryllis, here's where you have to hit the reset button, okay? Change the word drama to truth. All right, babe? That'll get you.
Oh my God! Bruh.
Yeah. It's not drama. It's not drama. It's the truth. The drama is what comes from the other side. Okay. When you ask the questions, when you demand the truth and you receive drama in return, that's all right. All right. David Rogers says that drone footage over the creek is haunting if it's true in the first place. You should check out my drone footage, David. If you go back on my channel quite a ways in the video section, go to the videos tab, go back quite a ways. I've got really nice drone footage of the entire area, all the way. I've got Wilson Bridge in the entire area, and I've got High Bridge in the entire area. Got a lot of nice drone footage. All right, but who would do all the stuff with the blood? But who would do all the stuff with the blood if moved out? Well, because there's two separate. In my opinion, there's two. I'm glad you asked that, Charles Junker. Let me say thanks to Mark Ellis. Hey, thank you, Mark. All right. I think it's very clear. Okay. I'm glad you asked that question because I think it's very clear. You got two crime scenes. I'm absolutely certain. Okay. I'm absolutely certain you have a secondary crime scene somewhere. And I think you have two different crimes. Okay. You have the murder of one girl, you have the murder of another girl. And it almost looks to me like you have the murder of one girl at another crime scene, and then you have the murder of the other girl at this crime scene. And it looks like then the one is moved over to join the other one. And now you appear to have two murders at one crime scene, but you're really dealing with two separate murders, two separate crime scenes, and they're just joined in the one crime scene where Libby was killed. And it's absolutely insane. And another thing that's absolutely insane, we're going to talk about this tomorrow, kind of giving away the secret, but part of what we're going to go back over tomorrow night is the tree. Okay. I want to talk about the tree because I want to talk about how absolutely insane it is for anyone to try to convince you that the markings on the tree, you know, what's known as the F tree, which I don't think is an F. I think it's more like a T or an upside down L. But that marking on the tree that consists of multiple straight lines and multiple right angles that they want you to believe is a handprint, like it, which is absolutely insane. But there's a whole lot of insanity. Okay, there's a whole lot of insanity, like even regarding the phone and all that is claimed to have been done with the phone. And remember this douchebag's closing argument or closing statement when McClellan says that Abby, in her with her dying breath, in her dying moments, she's heroically hiding the phone under a shoe under her own dying body in order to become a hero and solve her own their own murders. And no one thinks that anything's no one thinks that there's something wrong with that. You think that that's honoring the victim? Do you really believe that that fantasizing about the moment of their deaths or fictionalizing the events surrounding their deaths? Do you really think that that's honoring the victims? That's what boggles the mind, that this prosecutor could be so shameless as to totally fictionalize the scenario that the dying victim, in her last heroic effort to solve her own murder and that of her friend, is taking the phone and hiding it from the killer. It's just absolutely disgusting. Thank you, Purple Amaryllis. I appreciate you for saying those kind words. And like I said, that show is important to me. I encourage everyone to go watch it. It was yesterday's show, Hurricane Katrina, my story 20 years later. I appreciate anyone go watch that, and you'll get to know me, maybe understand me a little better. Hey, David Rogers, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Three things bother me: the dog wanting to go towards the area but turned away. Reporter goes live at 4:32 a.m., I believe, with people in the woods. Looks like Mike Patty and family. Yeah. Smells, don't it? Isn't that the exact moment that that phone turns back on? Oddly enough. 2 a.m. screams by three girls, one of whom was killed immediately after, one of whom is in prison, and one of whom is free to do what she wants. No one can explain the headphone being plugged in and unplugged again, right? No one will explain that, but we're fantasizing that it's a drop of water. Okay. All right. see what we got here. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Steve Johnson? Welcome in. Welcome in. It's bad out here. Rabbit says, I always wonder if the video was from a different day when they were geocaching. It amazes me that no one authenticated the metadata. Yeah, you know what amazes me? Remember I showed you, I wonder if I have that available here. Let's see. Yes, I sure do. Boy, Prof. Good job, Prof. Look, let's go over this again. Remember how concerning this was for me? First joint stipulation regarding evidentiary matters. First day of trial. First day of trial here. Okay? The parties agree, defense and prosecution agree, that the items referenced below shall be self-authenticated without the necessity of a witness verifying origin, authenticity, or chain of custody. The intention of the stipulation is to promote judicial economy. Yeah, right. Through the course of the jury trial in this case. Yeah, right. But you rested a week early? I mean, how economic judicially does this whole thing have to be? I mean, does this man not get a fair trial? The parties do not agree to specific admissibility or use of any item offered as evidence. But what are they agreeing to? Well, they're agreeing to the following items being self-authenticated without the necessity of a witness verifying origin, authenticity, or chain of custody. Think of how important that is. They're not going to question the origin, authenticity, or chain of custody. For what? Check this out. Number 6, all items collected at the crime scene where the victims were located near the Monon High Bridge in Carroll County, Indiana. Number 8, all AT&T records containing pings or other communications to and from any cellular towers in the area near the Monon High Bridge on February 13th or February 14th. All AT&T cell phone records for Liberty German's cell phone from February 13th and 14th, 2017. Number 12, electronic extractions done by Brian Bunner, including the extraction of Liberty German's phone, which would include the video from her phone. See? 13, electronic extractions done by Christopher Cecil, including all appendices and reports for said electronic devices. 14, extraction of Derek German's phone. So look at it. Number 6, all items from the crime scene. Number 8, all cell phone pings and other communications from the cell towers. All Liberty German cell records. Chain of custody for the phone. Number 12, all extractions. Number 13, including from Cecil. And number 14, including Derek German's phone. also the Harvest Store video. All evidence from the crime scene, all cell tower data, all the victim's phone data, all the victim's father's phone data, and no one sees anything odd about that. Look, these attorneys were either in over their heads and naive and dumb, or they're dirty. See, it's the only two conclusions you can come to. Again, what was page 1? Self-authenticated, number 1, without the necessity of a witness verifying origin, authenticity, or chain of custody. Okay. But that goes to your question, Jay Rabbit, and thank you for asking that. I always wonder if the video was from a different day. Self-authenticated. All right. What's up, Mino Dino? Thank you, Mark Ellis. Thank you, Mark Ellis. Profs keep doing a great job. $100 super chat. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate the support. All right. As you can see, I'm back a ways. I think I'm about 15 minutes behind, y'all. All right. Don't you think if RA was on the gas station video, they would have shown it? They acted ultra sketchy about stomping that out. Yeah, well, it tells you he wasn't on it. But who was on it? Who was on it? You know, and is it a conspiracy that disappeared, like all kind of other stuff? Like that's another thing. In what kind of double homicide of 2 little girls in which the state has behaved so bizarrely over the years with the changing of the sketches in 2019, which absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. And they just played that one off just perfectly. Okay, they disappeared half the people who were on the trails that day just perfectly, you know. And then they go and have this guy arrested who's no one's ever heard of, but they say they've known about him since the very beginning. And they say, oh, by the way, we've lost 70 days inexplicably of recordings and notes from the investigation in the first 6 months. We've lost all of that, including the entire first week, including all of the family members, by the way, including all of the Odinists or Vinlanders, by the way. Yeah, we lost all of the family shit, you know, even though they look like they've been lying for years. And we lost all of the Vinlander shit, although they look like they're involved in this. And yeah, we just happen to lose all that shit. But hey, no problem. We'll convict Richard Allen anyway. All right, let's see. Digital says, oh, hey, Christina, you're 100% on target. Intentional writing on that tree, 100%. I mean, there's no way to even doubt it. But see, if you really, I always like to try to understand the reason why. Okay. So let's say this. So to your own eyes, you'd look at that tree and you'd say, oh, absolutely. Someone painted that with a finger on the tree. Absolutely. Any normal person, just like any normal person would hear someone on that video say, this is the trail that we go down. No normal person would ever hear that be a gun. Okay, so the fact that they led the world to believe there was stated that be a gun, there has to be a reason they would do that. And that reason is that they had to put a gun in the scenario at that point in time to make the kidnapping of the girls a feasible a theory. Because otherwise, if there's no gun involved, it's very it's very unbelievable that one single person could kidnap both those girls and get them across that creek entirely. So they had to put a gun. And the way that they found to put a gun in the scenario is by saying one of those girls said, "That be a gun," and then saying the sound of a twig snapping is the gun being racked. Okay, so that's the reverse engineering of the why. Same with this tree. You obviously you look at the tree and you can clearly see that someone drew a vertical line and a horizontal line at a minimum. Straight lines at right angles to each other. But if that's the case, it doesn't work because you cannot come up with a reason that Richard Allen, lone wolf killer, who has some type of sexual motive, you cannot make up a reason that Richard Allen, lone wolf killer, would do that to a tree in the victim's blood. You just can't come up with a reason for that. It's very much more likely in combination with the figures or the figurations and the stick figurations on the bodies. It's much more believable and it makes much more sense in combination that there's some sort of symbology that's being attempted to be expressed with the stick figurations, with the posing of the bodies, and with the painting on the tree. So you have to make all of that disappear. So yeah, you can say that those stick figurations are random by throwing sticks on the body, but you can't really say that that shape is random on the tree if it's painted, because there'd be no reason to do so. So the excuse comes that, oh, it must have been the victim grabbing the wound, getting blood on her hands, and then steadying herself on the tree somehow in a way that makes that mark. Just absolutely zero sense. But the motive for creating that story actually does make sense because it removes the occult symbology as an element of this crime scene, which is the ultimate goal. You see, they have to remove this occult symbology from the crime scene to make it Richard Allen or any lone wolf killer pursuing these victims for a sexual motive. And how does a normal person not understand that? All right. Thank you, Granny D. You triggered me. I get all worked up on this. Excuse me. I need some water. Just a moment, please. Okay. Some Delphi creator. Well, let's be honest here. 75% of the Delphi creators work for the PR firm or law enforcement that's controlling this case. I mean, all right. Let's see. You know what, Christina? I'm sorry, heavy metal rehab. That's absolutely my feeling. That's absolutely my feeling. At the end of the day, I always keep coming back to the same thought that heavy metal rehab here is saying. There was never an investigation because they knew who did it from day one. They knew who did it. So it was always a cover up. So you don't need to investigate what you already know, but you do have to cover it up from the very beginning, thoroughly and consistently, and never stop, even to this very day, which is why Murder Sheet's written a book that's full of half truths and half lies, right? It's why all the fucking trolls are still contacting our family members. They're still threatening us. They're still making up lies about us. Cover up from before day one to today. And it'll be tomorrow too. And next week. Two separate murders. Ask yourself, why did Mike Patty say they stuck together till the end? Because they didn't. Why would he build that narrative from the beginning if not to misdirect? Exactly. Exactly, because you only say what you're trying to convince people of. You know, in other words, you say they stuck together till the end when they didn't. Or you say they were the best of friends when they really weren't. All right, let's see. Oh, Mort says they were not together on the sleepover night. That's a story. Right. Well, I don't know about that, but remember this because I've said this to you before. Remember how they tried to convey those Musicali videos as the evidence that they were together? Well, here's the thing. Musicali videos are uploaded as pre-records, which means they really don't prove anything, do they? They're not live. It's not like a YouTube live or a Facebook live. It's not a Facebook live. It's not a YouTube live. It's an uploaded video. So, do we know when those videos were truly taken? Excuse me. I'm not confident that those videos were taken at a sleepover. Not together. Abby is delivered to the trails by the patties. Clear as everything the video is, the faces are not. Neither are the voices, honestly. Quad saying hello to everyone. Thank you. Way more questions than there are ever going to be answers for now. Right? But Gray Pubes, but Gray Pubes will come into the comments and he'll say, "You're an embarrassment." Sure. Sure, Gray Pubes. I despise that stipulation. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the first joint stipulation we just read. The defense agreeing to that sealed Rick Allen's conviction. A judge and prosecutor had some nerve to bring up judicial economy. It enrages me they claim that was a priority, but they had Mullins Duke himself come back 38 times and other witnesses. Yeah. All right, let's see. CJ Laz, hello to you. Welcome in. Thanks for coming. Everyone else who's just come in, thanks for coming. Welcome to the chat. Paula Fritz Henry, hey, welcome in. Dirty Diana, hey, welcome in. Everyone who's coming in, thank you for coming in. Almost seems like a fake trial. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Please hit the thank you, says Lisa. Please hit the like. I mean, yes, the like is like a thank you. Please do hit the like. And also, look, we have support pathways scrolling down here. Support the channel. And thank you for watching. Also, leave a comment if you're on the replay. I like hearing what you got to say, viewers. You know, we'll have 100 in here watching live, but we'll have 2,000 watch it later. So please do leave some comments down below if you're watching later. Hey, Jade. Welcome in, Jade. Good to see you. You're not late. You're on Jade time. Hey, welcome in, Dr. Corbo. Good to see you. The author and promoter of the Odin Brotherhood died recently. Who was it? Well, do you guys remember this? I'll skip it. Tomorrow, we'll talk about some things tomorrow night. Friday night show tomorrow. Please come back and watch it. All right. Mark Marabello was a professor at Shawnee State University. Prof, I got time on my side, and if there's any I want to see happen before I check out is justice for the girls of Delphi and Flora. I mean, you know what's funny? I always look at these state actors, especially the troll farm, and whatever they're promoting, I pretty much realize that the opposite is what's true. So they love to say, oh, there's no connection to Delphi and Florida. There's no connection. They're not connected. They're not connected. They're not connected. Well, I'm inclined to believe because of that they're absolutely connected in some way. Now, I can't say how or why, but there's some tie that binds. There's some thread there connecting the two, because the very fact that they will push so hard on that they're not connected tells me, oh yeah, they're connected. And I'll promise you this. I'll promise you this. I promise you that someday we'll learn that there are other homicides connected to Delphi, which appear very similar. Promise you. cannot remove the occult symbology of that crime scene unless you're blind, which is why they didn't want those crime scene photos out in the world. Because if anybody in their right mind takes a look at those crime scene photos and they're not compromised or law enforcement adjacent working for the cops, anybody in their right mind looks at those crime scene photos, you're going to see that there's absolutely occult symbology, especially in the sticks placed on the girls' bodies. And if you really stretch your mind, you'd see that the posing of the bodies are absolute, like, mirror figurations from the tarot deck. So you've got tarot figuration and runic symbology, or bind runes. There's some combination thereof. Right, exactly. Occult crimes happen, have happened, and will happen because it is real. How did they make such a perfect perimeter that had all kind of foot traffic for hours? I hear staged. And I'm guessing you're going to say only brass could have staged it. Hey, welcome in, Dina. I knew the trial was 100% garbage when the expert went and Googled about the phone during a break. That's how desperate. Listen, the way I reverse engineer that, and I'm so glad you brought that up. What was her name? Stacey Eldridge? Stacey Eldridge's testimony was so damning because it put somebody else manipulating that phone at the 5 o'clock hour and the 10 p.m. hour, right? It put someone else physically manipulating the headphone jack on that phone twice. Once in the 5 p.m. hour and once in the 10 p.m. hour. Which means someone was there touching and playing with that phone between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. or 5:45 and 10:32. And because of that, that state expert was absolutely desperate, Christopher Cecil, absolutely desperate to try to debunk on the fly that absolutely damning evidence that someone else was handling that phone at 5:45 p.m. and 10:32 p.m. or something like that. So that state police officer had to run out into the hallway, get the phone and Google. Is it ever possible? Is there any way fucking possible that it could ever be this? And he found a Reddit post or something. It's just another one of the million anomalies with this case that you'll never be able to explain. All right, let's see. Comey is absolutely a snake. Okay, it looks like an initiation. The victims may have been picked for personal reasons, but the act itself could have been very well been an initiation, which is what Elvis Fields indicated to his sisters. Am I right? Welcome in, ACV. Is it possible some teenagers did this, but the cover-up was by adults who agreed to protect the kids? A case of 1,000 lies, 1,000 coincidences, and 1,000 cover-ups. Oh, right. How dare we almost forget? Remember how bizarre it is with the ballistics, where she had to fire a round in order to produce ejection marks that she says match the round that is unfired. Why would you ever have to fire a round to force it to match what is unfired? It just absolutely makes no sense. And they'll say, oh, because the strength. Well, no, bitch. No. You're in a laboratory. There's men around. So if you're such a little old lady that you can't rack a gun, you don't think that you can get the big guy next door? I mean, after all, you got police officers everywhere. You can't get a fucking police officer with biceps this big around to rack the fuck out of that gun. I mean, in some way, possibly even more, with more force than Richard Allen could ever manifest. But just another anomaly. Like I said, this, you're dealing with a case that is so manufactured and twisted, and it's literally 1,000 of everything, 1,000 lies, 1,000 coincidences, 1,000 elements that give cognitive dissonance, 1,000 unlikely scenarios that are described, 1,000 fucking death threats. It's just the amount of effort that this has all required has been unbelievable. And remember, like I said, you still have this bridge guy video out here, right? That's supposed to be the video from Liberty's phone. It's just another red flag. For years, we had nothing near as good looking as that. And then suddenly they put this Disney looking shit in our laps, and yet we can't get it from Judge Gold. What kind of world are we living in? Is it possible one of the girls was pregnant? Well, that's always been the long-standing rumor. I mean, that is the long-standing rumor. But, you know, you got a medical examiner who's not going to say, he's not going to give you that. He's not going to give that. Like I said, this is a cover-up of epic proportions. All right, let's see. Didn't Ives and Carter say on video he knew a little about the missing girls on Sunday? I seem to remember something like that. I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but one of those cops. No, Trial Junkie, let me help you. That's what she corrected. Okay, this is what Kelsey corrected. What she actually said, because she slipped. She had a Freudian slip. She said, you know, we actually went geocaching the weekend everything happened. And then, I mean, did you guys not catch that? I tried to highlight that on one of my videos. You know, I tried to highlight that on one of my videos. It really did seem like she was saying that that's what we were doing the weekend everything happened. All right. Yeah, it's in the Blue Moose interview with the other weirdo. But anyhow, Okay, where are we at here? Appreciate you all being here with all these wonderful comments. Kind of skipping over quite a few because I'm a bit behind. Let's see. About 15 minutes behind still. But at least I'm keeping pace. All right, let's see. No, I didn't notice that. Maybe we can get everybody, all the super sleuths here. Maybe we can get all of these super sleuths investigating this one, right? Ever notice Abby has black fingernail polish in that musicality video? Allegedly the night of the sleepover. Well, let's ask some of the investigators, what do the autopsy photos show? Do the autopsy photos show black fingernail polish on Abby? How about the bridge guy video? Do we see black fingernail polish on Abby? All right, heavy metal. Good night. Good night. Hopefully you hear me say good night. I don't know if you've already gotten out of here, but good night, heavy metal. All right, let's see. Hey, Aaron, long time no see. What's up, Aaron? It says, hey, all my friends. I'm late, just going to start at the beginning. I still need to email you, Prof. If anyone can let me know what his email address is, I would be so appreciative. Much love to all of y'all. Yeah, let's see. I need to paste the... let me do this. Let's see. All right, get out of here. Get into here. Okay, maybe Aaron will find that link tree here. Let me see. There we go. No, heavy metal, I didn't set up that damn Discord because, Discord is just so fucking problematic. But I do mean to. I do mean to because I'm going to open back up for select of you. But it's very difficult because I have to set it up where all these fucking trolls can't sneak in there because they like to come into the Discord to cause discord, which is why I don't have a Discord. All right. Jury didn't get it. Phones are quirky, and because they weren't able to recall her, lost the point. It was absolutely ridiculous. This jury, listen, half the jury were dumbass chicks, and I blame Andy Baldwin for allowing that to pass, and Brad Rossi. And the other half were probably compromised by the state. Let's be honest here. Who in the hell would change their mind? Remember, how likely are you to change your mind on this? So you're telling me that 4 individuals at the last minute just willy-nilly changed their mind, just randomly? All 4? That 100% of the 4? Yeah, it's another good point. You got Paula. Welcome in. I'm not sure Abby spent the weekend with Grandpa Cliff. Did she really disappear at that supposed time since Anna and Derek could not get the story straight? They could not get the story straight. And why is that another contradiction? All right, let's see. Stacey Eldridge also says she had plenty more to testify about but wasn't asked. Part of the problem is defense couldn't ask about anything not brought up by state. Another part of the problem was the defense. Yeah, and hey, she may get another shot at it if there's another trial, but I don't know. Well, that's something I agree with you there, but I have an entire conspiracy theory about it, Dr. Corbo. And actually, what was the video? Apocalypse Delphi? I have a video I called Apocalypse Delphi. I wish you'd go check it out. It's maybe not too long. Okay. Please check it out, though. Apocalypse Delphi. Okay. All right. Apocalypse Delphi. It's in my video section. Okay. Let's see. What did Chippy do? Well, what didn't he do? I see about 20 comments. It could be any one of them. Let's go with this one. All right, let's see. The fact that nobody else in the judiciary spoke up about the blatant show of corruption, which this was, tells me the trial was for show and everyone knew it but Rick. Okay, what am I missing here? This somehow would have led to Pence and then Doug Carter. Oh, heavy metal's still here. I'm glad you're still here. We won't be going too much longer. We'll be ending soon. Stick around. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. You know what's going to happen then? Catch up with the chat. We'll call it a night. But I'm about 10 minutes out, I guess. Yeah, it's interesting about Subaru. Do you guys know how many people connected to this worked at Subaru? Just like Packers, you know, there's sort of this trifecta, right? There's Subaru, there's Packers, and then there's methamphetamine. Okay? In other words, there's Subaru, there's a Packers, and there's the meth dealers. But like I said, the fucked up part of all of this is that everything that's been discussed for years has suddenly somehow been forgotten. You know, suddenly it's somehow been forgotten. It's all distraction now. You know, it's all distraction. You're looking at the same stupid ass screenshots. Yeah, people are speculating of shit you've never been able to figure out. It's the same old bullshittery, just speculation upon speculation and rehashing over rehashing. And people are forgetting the actual important things. And this is Delphi. This is the current state. This is the post-conviction phase of Delphi. I mean, has everyone forgotten what's important because of Rick Allen? I mean, look, let me give the trolls something to clip. This is especially for the one fat ass who's going to clip me. Look, there are things more important than Rick Allen with this case. Okay. Rick Allen's just a speed bump on the way to the truth about Delphi. I'm sure they'll clip that one. Okay. I got to give them something to clip every live. And I guarantee it'll happen. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Don't red pill too hard. Digital, online, covert employee. Yeah. Sounds like what we're dealing with. Something like that. Or the various employees of some large PR firm with offices in LA, New York, Houston, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know, Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, who knows? Between us going in and out Discord, it wouldn't be hard for us to watch it. Well, you know what happened last time is the infiltrators ruined the Discord because what they like to do is cause a bunch of problems, screenshot those problems, and then go use them to cause chaos elsewhere. And tell you what, that really burned my ass, that entire experience dealing with the Discord. Like, Discord does nothing for me but cause me headaches. But I wanted it for you all. But God, people are so fucking evil in this case. Like I said yesterday, this case is seething with rage. Absolutely seething with rage. All right. All right, let's see. You did watch my drone video after I put them out. Thank you very much. I have a bunch of nice drone videos. That's the thing, man. It's just been so much. This has required so much effort. It's unbelievable. You would think like you wouldn't think all of this would be necessary. All right. Hey, what's up, Nicole Watt? What's up, Nicole Watt? What's Amy G? What's up, Amy G? I'm glad to see you all. All right, let's see. Hey peeps, what's up, Amy G? Hey, the rehashing is toxic. It's killing me. I mean, dude, has everyone lost their way? You know, it's like I often say this. This is an addiction. This is an addiction that people have. This is why people like the rehashing, and it's very ugly. It's very ugly. Should not feed your addictions, even if your addictions are Delphi. Uh, Learn to experience novel thoughts and to create novel neural pathways, new things, make new connections, take in information in new ways, take in a new type of information. This chasing your tail thing is totally unproductive. Prof saying what we all try not to say. I've been saying what you've tried not to say for 3 years now, and people are slowly catching up. I think most people are about a year behind in what I've been saying. So maybe in 6 months, we'll be caught up with the past 6 months. Who knows? I hope that people catch up soon. Okay. We need to get caught up on what we're looking at. Hey, while I'm talking about that, let me take a moment. Guys, I want to say that In Light in the Dark, Adrian at In Light in the Dark, she did an amazing presentation recently. The most recent presentation she just did. Let me see if I can figure out the name of that one. Let's see. Adrian just did a presentation named FBI. Please look into the Delphi online community. Let me see. No, that's not it. That's not it. It's called the Dear FBI. Jesus, Adrian, you're making this hard. Let's see. See if I can paste it here. All right, go and click on this video here and save it to watch later. This is Adrian's video called Dear FBI, Delphi is true crime's biggest lie. It's a really good one. And so go and check that out. And also Amy G has been doing good work. And that's the thing, we need to talk about who's doing the good work, who's doing the good truth telling. And Amy G and Adrian are two of the people doing good work who are not being talked about. Okay? And we need to show support for the people doing good work. Okay, let's see. Delphi leads to many elite, hence the cover up. All right, let's see. What do you mean, Trial Junkie? I can use your videos too? I'm confused, Trial Junkie. All right. People are very close-minded because it's not people you're dealing with. Let's be clear, Amy. You're not dealing with people. You're dealing with agents, okay? You're dealing with control agents. They're rehashing what Prosecute discussed 2+ years ago. Remember Frenchie? Where's Frenchie 6290? Frenchie 6290 and I, we sat here for a good fucking year, my very first year, and we went through every aspect of this case. And we disagreed like periodically, here a little, there a little. But yeah, you remember me and Frenchie 6290 killing it? We killing it over and over and over again. And a lot of you were here for that. Props crew.
Bruh. Bruh.
Yep. Thank you, Digital. Hey, thank you, Hebby. Thank you, Hebby. That was special for you. Okay. It's funny how this has changed. This has changed from a Q&A to a discussion. I maybe have to go back and title it discussion with the chat. But no, I mean, this is a good point, Heavy Metal. Look, I don't care who disagrees with it. I still think the Dropbox was a thing and is a thing, and kind of like Epstein, it's being fucking hidden, right? I sort of believe that this case is equatable to Epstein, possibly even bigger, because look at the level of cover up. You know, if this Dropbox is connected to this case and does tie into a network of politicians and important people, and it would engender this sort of cover up, and it is what it is. And even if it's an occult thing, maybe it's not solely a Dropbox, maybe it's an occult network, but there's something here that's major that's being covered up, and that's undeniable at this point. And anyone who says it's not is you really got to wonder about the authenticity of their voice. Okay. Good night, Digital. Good night. Go to lurker mode. We're getting out of here soon. All right. So good night, Rebecca. Is everyone getting tired? Good. I'll be out of here soon too. I saw Adrian's today. It was excellent. It sure was. Okay. All right. Let's see. I listened to a 14-year-old ago talking about Snapchat. She said there's snap maps used for tracking and stalking. I wonder if Libby had that turned on. I don't know. All right, y'all. Ghost in the Machine. This case, it is like Epstein. A network of one. Huh? You got to rephrase that one. Stump me. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I think this is it. This is a good note to end on. I'm ready to get out of here. My voice is starting to get shot, but it was good to see everybody. Hey, welcome to your Thursday night, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow night and try to do a do we have a troll in here now? Come on, Ghost in the Machine. I hope you're not trying to throw me off or I'm not even going to address you right now. So ignore the chaos agents. Thank you very much, Dr. Corbo. I'm glad to see you here too. You're very helpful, and what a resource. Okay. Good night, Christina. Good night, Diana. Okay. Heavy Metal Rehab, Sweet Dude Shibby, Lawyer's Daughter, Lisa, Heather Brown Heavy, Nicole Watt, Elby, Trial Junkie, Dr. Corbo, Lawyer's Daughter, Oh Hey Christina, David Rogers here, Jay Rabbit, Paula's here, and Amy G. Special thanks to Amy G for coming in. Old Mort, New Mort, Jade. Did I say Lawyer's Daughter? Digital, Jay Rabbit, Gretchen, Muty Silence, Ive Apophis, ACV. Everyone who's here super early, I truly appreciate it. Like Mark Ellis was here, Granny D was here, David Rogers. Appreciate everyone. Oh, hey, there's Miss Pie Crust. Let's see. Jeez, now I've lost my spot. Okay. Good night. Okay, good night. Good night, Gretchen. Oh, Quad. Good night, Quad. All right, Lisa. Everyone, Elby, Trial Junkie. Okay, cheers to everyone. Thank you for being here, as Heather says. Appreciate you all for being here. Yeah, we don't want no drama or no problems with anyone. That's not the point here. Less confusion and more discussion. Okay, that's what's good. That's what's good, is the discussion. Swade Smith, hey, what's up? Let me see. What's up, Swade Smith? Swade is reminding us, everyone hit the like on the way out. And like I said, go check out Adrian and Light in the Dark. Check out Amy G. Also, check out my video called Apocalypse Delphi. Check out my GoFundMe. And please support the channel in any way you want. And hey, that's what it is. And I appreciate, oh, that, look, Nancy Drew 101. There you go. Good night, all. Wonderful live, Prof. Thank you, Nancy Drew. And anyhow, I'm going to go get some rest myself and rest my voice. So God bless. Hug your kids, hug your wife. God bless Libby and Abby. And hey, everyone get some rest, okay? And on that note, I'd like to say...
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because they're raping everybody out here.
Bye.